Whole grains provide complex carbohydrates, fiber, B vitamins, iron, magnesium, selenium, and phytonutrients that are stripped away in refined grains. The bran and germ that are removed in refining contain most of the nutritional value. This is established science, yet whole grain consumption remains low in most Western populations. Mediterranean whole grains are typically intact or minimally processed: farro, barley, bulgur, whole wheat, oats. These are fundamentally different from whole grain bread or whole grain crackers where the grain has been ground into flour. The intact grain structure slows digestion, stabilizes blood sugar more effectively, and provides resistant starch that feeds gut bacteria. The recommendation is 3 to 6 servings daily, where a serving is half a cup cooked or 1 slice of whole grain bread. But prioritizing intact grains over flour products is crucial. Farro and barley in grain bowls, bulgur in salads like tabbouleh, oats for breakfast, whole wheat pasta occasionally. This requires a shift in how most people think about grains. Cooking grains in vegetable broth adds nutrition and flavor. Preparing large batches and refrigerating them makes weekday meals easier, and cooled grains form additional resistant starch with prebiotic benefits. Using variety, different grains on different days, prevents boredom and provides diverse nutrients. Now let's address the anti-grain movement that's gained substantial traction. The arguments against grains, particularly wheat, include gluten sensitivity, blood sugar impacts, inflammatory effects, and the idea that humans aren't adapted to eating grains. Some of these concerns have merit. Celiac disease affects about 1% of the population and requires complete gluten avoidance. Non-celiac gluten sensitivity is real for some people, though its prevalence is debated and difficult to diagnose definitively. For these individuals, gluten-containing grains cause legitimate problems. The glycemic impact of grain products, even whole grain products, can be significant. Whole wheat bread still raises blood sugar considerably, though less than white bread. For people with insulin resistance or diabetes, grain consumption needs to be carefully managed even when choosing whole grains. Modern wheat is different from ancient varieties. It's been hybridized for higher yield and gluten content. Some people report better tolerance of ancient grains like einkorn or spelt, though scientific evidence for this is limited. The processing and preparation of modern wheat products is also vastly different from traditional methods like long fermentation. Lectins and other anti-nutrients in grains have been proposed as problematic. While cooking deactivates most lectins, the concern remains in certain health communities. The evidence here is mixed and often overstated, but for individuals with gut issues, grain elimination sometimes produces improvements. The Mediterranean diet research showing benefits included populations eating bread, pasta, and grains regularly. But they were eating sourdough bread made with long fermentation, pasta cooked al dente and consumed with vegetables and olive oil, and intact grains. This is different from modern refined grain products consumed in large portions without accompanying vegetables and healthy fats. Sourdough whole grain bread has a lower glycemic impact due to fermentation. Pasta cooked al dente and eaten with vegetables and olive oil as part of a complete meal affects blood sugar differently than pasta alone. Context matters enormously.